Hi guys, welcome to another episode of The Business Plus. We are really happy to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. Today we'll be having an amazing episode because we are now at my favorite place, and of course mnajua napenda production. So today we are having a couple who decided to start a production house, and we'll be talking about media. Of late, media is really crowded. Kama umefanya journalism, umefanya mass communication, you know what I'm talking about. If you love to get into the media space, you know that everyone is getting into this. But also, we need to know that you are able to make money using media. We say business is more than meets the eye. Now, today we are having Don and Shamir. They are the co-founders or the directors rather, of Cradle of Life. So Cradle of Life is a production house, is a production company, and they are doing great things. They have a YouTube channel, so you can check them out. And today we are having them on the show. So we'll be discussing about how do you start a production house. But then they have a very interesting story, how they came into production, how they decided to start their own production house, and what exactly they do. So make sure you don't miss this episode. We are live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook, and of course we are live on MBCI TV. So my name is Rachel Kahugu. We'll be getting into this, and I know that you'll be having an amazing time. Send links to your friends, send links to your sisters, send these links to your family, and make sure they tune in. Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you.
I'm very delighted to be here.
We're very excited to be here, yeah.
You guys are doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
So let's just get right into it. But before we even start, maybe you can introduce yourself. Let's start with you.
Okay. My name is Dawn Athanasius, and I'm the CEO of the Cradle of Life.
Ah, amazing.
My name is Shamir bin Mohammed, and I am the COO of the Cradle of Life.
Chief
Operations Officer.
Ah, amazing. Now let's start from where did you start this production house? What brought you guys into the production field? Is it something you studied for? Is it something you have passion for? So let's start with you. In charge of operations,
okay.
Let's start with you.
Well, for me, productions has always been a part of my life. Ever since I can remember, I've been playing music. I've always been fiddling around with, gadgets, especially musical instruments, mixers, speakers. My father's an electronic engineer, so that's how it started. But when it comes to productions itself, I think it's something that I learned along the way. I'm a musician, and I've always been around musical instruments because my father was a musician as well. So through that, I think, the instrument is then plugged into the mixer, so now you're trying to get the best sound out of it, and it's connected to the speaker. So it's just been a passion of mine that has really grown over time. And I think more and more as I went to school, I realized that that's what I wanted to do always. Although I did go through quite a bit of other fields that we'll talk about. I ended up in productions, and I think it's a happy zone for me. It's a comfort zone.
It's a comfort zone. Amazing. At least you mentioned something you've been in production for, was it 14 years?
14 years, yeah. So I began in radio, actually. My family relocated to the Seychelles. Part of my roots are from the Seychelles. So my family relocated then when I was 19. A very close friend of mine who's actually passed away this year, his name is Sean Cardavillis. He got me into radio. He introduced me into the radio world when I was in the Seychelles, and I think that's where it began, because I started working in radio for the Seychelles Broadcasting Corporation when I was 19, and I continued until I moved to Kenya back here 2 years ago, and that's where the Cradle of Life came from. But obviously along the way a lot of things happened, and you learn more, and production really became part of who I am.
So you started from radio?
From radio.
Radio is a really good field.
It is, and it's one of those fields that even though you may move away from it for a while, it sort of calls you back.
Yeah, it calls you back.
It does. It's a bit like television. It calls you back. So that's where this production house came from, the life from it. So combining both our journeys together got us to where we are now.
Ah, amazing. Now let's talk about the Cradle of Life. What exactly is Cradle of Life? Why did you call it Cradle of Life? And what do you guys offer?
I think Dawn is probably the better person to answer this. I'll add my bit in a little while.
So when we decided to relocate back to Kenya, it was one of two things. Either we find a way to go back into radio here, which we knew would be a bit of a difficult situation because radio is saturated in Kenya. It's very competitive. It's a different ball game from coming from an island sort of laid-back lifestyle of radio. So we decided to take a little trip when we first came back here, and we went, I think it was to Elementaita. And when we got there, I just felt like I wanted to do like a little vlog. And so a little idea popped into my mind, and we thought, we have all the experience in radio, productions, events. Why can we not start something of our own with what we know and what we've managed to gather through the years? And so that seed was planted. We took a trip to Uganda. We shared the idea with my brother and his wife, who run their advertising agency there. And Cradle of Life was essentially born in Uganda.
Amazing. Yes. But now we have it in Kenya.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So probably we'd love to get to know from you, how was it while you started, when you decided now to start the production house? How was it to start a new company from a very new ground, starting from zero? How was the experience for you?
Exciting. First and foremost, it was exciting, but I think it was also a bit challenging because we've never really had a company of our own in Kenya. So to adapt, coming from Seychelles, which has very different laws for business, for example. Yes, there are similarities, but being in Kenya, being in Nakuru, assessing the market, doing a bit of market research, I think it was a bit challenging. We had to adapt to the way of setting up businesses here in Kenya, getting to know the tax regulations, getting to know all the procedures that you need to be able to set up a business. That was a bit of a challenge, obviously, but I think it was a very exciting journey for us, for both Don and I. I mean, I speak for myself. I was super excited because it meant you have the final say for what you're doing.
Right.
You know, you get up when you want to work.
The beauty of self-employed.
Yeah, exactly. You're self-employed. So you know in which direction you want to take the company. You know how you want to package your services, your products. And I think that was one of the biggest things for us, is having control over the quality of output, the quantity of output, and reaching out to our target audience, so to speak.
Okay, but you know, as you're talking about having the luxury of deciding what you want to do in your own company, again, it comes with a side where you have to make money from it, because now it's your own business. So tell us about, how did you get your clients? How did you start your marketing from the very first point, and just deciding on, this is what we'll offer, this is what we want to offer for now, and bringing in your company just to make sense and make money?
Okay, I think the first things we did is we tried to decide, what do we want from the company? What are we offering when it comes to productions, whether it's audio, whether it's visual? Are we broadening that spectrum? Are we going into different things? So we put those things down together and we decided, who do we approach? Who in Nakuru is looking for a business that is happy to help them or can elevate the quality of their productions, whether it's to market their products, whether it's to market their establishments, different things like that. So we had to sit down and really do the groundwork. We had to have a pitch deck, we had to know what we were going to pitch, we had to put everything together. And that's where I think the collaboration between Clever Box Creations, the agency, which is a company that is run by my brother and his wife, and our abilities when it comes to production came together. So we could fuse those two, and they were able to help us put things together, and that's how we began now figuring out how we were going to strategically approach clients. But I think for the Cradle of Life as well, when we began going out there and approaching clients, we offered quite a lot of free work. We needed people to see the quality of our work. So a lot of the work we did within the first year, we're in the second year now, was pro bono. Which was difficult, but it's something I think a lot of businesses need to do, where you can approach people, especially SMEs who need that boost, who need the help, and they don't have the funding, just like you as a startup. So it was very critical for us to approach those kind of companies, the SMEs, and show them what we can do, help them out, help them grow.
Also, I think if I could add to that, it's important to have a good portfolio when you're starting out, and starting from from scratch in an entirely new space, you don't exactly have a portfolio. So this is where the free work came in.
Because you have to build on the portfolio.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, for the services that we offer, for example, photography, videography, music production, and so many more, we had to approach people and say, listen, we need a bit of content to add to our portfolio. Perhaps you need some of our services. How about we meet halfway? We let us shoot your establishment or your product, and we'll have the content for our portfolio. We can then showcase and approach other clients using that.
Amazing. Now, that brings me to now, after you've decided what exactly you want to do, the audio, taking photographs, the video, what did you settle for? So that is, what exactly does Cradle of Life offer?
Everything to do with audio.
Everything.
And we're an audio-visual production house. So let's start with video. Right? Video, we do photography. For example, at the moment we're working with a company that's, we're doing a lot of product photography. So whatever product you have, we do a lot of product photography. But it's not just that. Corporate portraiture, so many more different things. Establishment shots. So for example, real estate. We take pictures of houses that are up for sale, or hotels if you want to advertise anything. If we can take a picture of it, we'll take a picture of it. Videography as well. We do reels, we do interviews, establishment reviews, and so many more. When it comes to audio, now this is where it's been a forte for a long time. So I've done a course in sound engineering. That's pretty much my background, and music production as well. So that's one of our strongholds, is music production. So everything to do with whether you want a signature tune for your company, for your brand, you want a jingle for the radio, you want voiceovers, we do that.
So everything audio.
A fully blown song that you want to add vocals to, we do that as well.
Amazing.
So anything audio. You want us to master and mix a track, we do that as well.
Amazing. So that tells us, as a production house, or anyone who wants to get into the production house business, you have to really major on audio, video, and photography. Generally everything that is in the media space for you to do well, for you to scale up as a business, right? All right, so let's get the Business 101. We'll go for a very short break so that you can get the Business 101. Then we'll be coming right back.
Hi guys, my name is Dawn Athanasius, and this is your Business Tips 101. I think the first and the most important is discipline. Having discipline when it comes to doing anything when it comes to business. You have to be disciplined about what you're doing and how you're doing it. Another thing I think that is very important is quality. Ensuring that whatever work you are in, whatever field you may be in, when it comes to productions especially, quality comes first, ensuring that you are at the top of your game when it comes to quality. And I think the third one for me would have to be communication skills. You have to be a good communicator. You have to be able to communicate with clients, potential clients, and your co-workers, people that you're working with, people that you employ, people that you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So communication skills is absolutely key for you to ensure that your business is elevated to the next level.
I'm going to add to that by saying, get out of your comfort zone. If you always do what you always did, you're always going to get what you always got. So I think for you to be able to progress in life, you need to get out of your comfort zone, go out there, put yourself out there, market yourself, and through that you will progress. Otherwise, you'll just remain stagnant. I think another thing I'm going to say is professionalism. Professionalism is absolutely vital, because put yourself in the consumer or the client's place. You want value for money, you want delivery on time. So always do what you say you're going to do. If you say you're going to deliver your services at a particular time, then do that. If you say you're going to deliver a particular quality, do that. Be professional about it. Keep time. Very, very important. Be professional about your work. And I think I'll wrap up with saying, be passionate. Look for something that you have passion in. And if you do something that you're passionate about, you will never work a day in your life. You will always be doing something that you enjoy, and it will not seem like work, because you'll just put in so many hours and do it to the best of your ability. And I think through that, you will get the best work that you possibly can out of yourself. And with that, I've been Shamir, and this has been Business Tips 101. Hi, my name is Shamir Pir Mohammed, and I am the Chief Operations Officer of the Cradle of Life, and you are watching Business Plus.
Alright guys, we are back after the Business 101. I hope that you are learning something, and I'm getting to know that the production is really, really wide, and of course you can do whatever you want to do as long as you are in this field. You just have to know what you are so good at, but also I've gotten to learn that you need to know what you are passionate about.
Yes, indeed.
Because you just can't always ifanya too. You need to know what are you passionate about. Is it videography or photography or the voiceovers? So you need to identify your niche. So thank you so much for the Business 101. Now we are back, and I'd now want us to talk about the production. How do you work with clients to make sure that you deliver on time and it's within the budget?
Okay. So for us is when we get a client on board, we have a conversation with them from the get-go. What are you looking for? What do you hope to gain? What kind of outcome are you expecting from this? And we also work with duration. So usually to produce, let's say, a radio ad, it's usually about 48 hours. So we sit with the client, they give us the product that they want to push. We come up with the scripting based on their conceptualization or their idea. Or if it's on a product, we look at the product, we get the products, we scan them, we take a look at them and know what we're trying to push and what we're gaining out of this advert. So we make sure that everything is in line. We ensure that we keep to deadlines. That's one thing that we love to do. Deadlines. In fact, we try to deliver before our deadlines. Because when you're in, I'll take you back when I was in radio. When clients come with radio ads, we used to produce radio ads about 15, sometimes 10, 15. Sometimes it could be no ad for the day, but you had to produce and release those ads back to the clients for approval, and it comes back. So it's a lot of back and forth sometimes. Clients tend to forget, or they say, I missed to put this in the script. Can you add this? Can you remove that? So it can be a back and forth thing, but it's understanding that if you were the client, you would want everything to be perfect. You are paying for a service. So we ensure that the client's needs are met. We have conversations with them, and we give them at least 2 or 3 demo versions for them to pick which one they prefer the most. So it's basically just, understanding your client and knowing that if it was your product, you would be as picky as the client is. So you have to just be able to compromise with them and keep to your deadlines, which is something we do. We pride ourselves in. And then the quality, obviously. For us, quality has to be at the top of our list, because when you deliver quality work, you have people coming back to you because they know you're capable of giving them a service that they're actually paying for. That money that they're paying you, it's worth every penny.
Amazing. And you've also mentioned about having clients coming back. So apart from the repeating clients, how do you get other clients? How do you get more people coming in for your services?
Okay, so a lot of the time we get referrals. So when a client is happy with your work, they have people in their network who are probably looking for the same service. They say, well, okay, you can go to the Cradle of Life. They do this, they do this. Here's their number, give them a call. So we get customers in that way, but we've also been doing quite a bit of networking. Every event that we can go to that we know we're going to have a lot of people there, potential clients. We go out there. You've got to put yourself out there, because Kenya's huge. Nakuru's big. It's bigger than Seychelles, in terms of population. So it's not like everyone knows everyone. You have to be out there. You have to be marketing yourself.
Right.
But for a lot of the clients that we've got, like I said, quite a few of them have been referrals. Others have been through networks. Some through events, and some through just basically sending out emails saying, can we arrange for a meeting? We'd like to present our services to you. Hopefully they'd be of interest. And just like that, we managed to get some clients in that way.
Amazing. And you've taken us through the process of a production after you've gotten our client, and now you need to sit down with them and get to know everything that they need for you to produce whatever they need. But I'd want to know, what are some of the challenges that you faced when dealing with clients?
Wow. I think some of the challenges is, like I said, clients do want things changed around. I think one of the biggest challenges is having a client come to you today and expect the work today. It's very difficult, especially if you have other clients that you need to deliver for. So that's a big challenge, but it's one of those things where, given that office is at home, if we need to work around the clock, we're working around the clock. It's a challenge, but it's one that you can overcome. And that's what I think about challenges, is you can overcome different challenges different ways. So it's one of the challenges we do face, is having people come to you last minute, expect you to deliver the work. And it's a good thing in a way, because working under pressure gets people to do things pretty good. Because, you know, you need to make it just as good as all the other different aspects of work that you do for clients. But it's one of the challenges. I think another challenge for me, and I think it's with us, Sisi wote wa Kenya to pray for, you know, people who cannot keep time. For me, that is one thing that Kenyans, we're so bad at keeping time. So it's one of those challenges, and why it's a challenge is because you may have a meeting with a client and you have another one scheduled for another time. So you have to ensure that you are there on time. And sometimes if a client is delaying to have your meeting, it pushes you now to delay with the next client. And so now they start thinking you are not capable of keeping time and stuff like that. So I think that's one thing, especially as Nakuru people. we need to
I think it's just something with Kenyans.
It's something with Kenyans, even in Nairobi. But so I think that those are, and there are not many challenges. You know, it's easy to work with people in Kenya. People are kind. People are fair here, and people like to hear what you have to offer, and they like to understand what it is you're trying to do for them. So it's not just fully, I want it this way and I need it this way. They are able to allow you to explain to them why you'd like to do it a different way. So it's not too bad.
One of the challenges I think I could say we face is also when it comes to discussing budgets, pricing of productions, right? So you can approach, or someone approaches you and say, so I want this video done, you know, it's a minute long or 2 minutes long, and I want this, I want this, I want this. Nataka products, I want that. So, you know, you're taking it all in, you're taking notes, you've got a whole list, and then you come to discussing the price. And when you tell them your price, they're like, hey,
it's too much.
You know, can we reduce it by like 60% or something?
60.
You know what some people don't realize is that you say, okay, I want a 1 minute video. But for us to shoot that, or to get that 1 minute video, I could be filming for 4 hours. And, you know, they don't realize the amount of work that goes into editing, that goes into lighting, that goes into making sure you've got the right frame rate. There's so many details. So when someone says, okay, you know, they don't realize the difference in quality. You know, quality comes at a price, obviously. We try our best to fit within people's budgets, but sometimes, you know, it involves maybe getting a couple of guys to help us, you know, because it's a big set. Sometimes it takes working from 6 in the morning to, I don't know, 6 in the evening to get a 5-minute clip. But if that's what it takes, that's what we do. So they don't take into account that. And, you know, it's frustrating because when you think of the amount of work that goes into the production, you're pouring your heart and soul into it. And then someone says,
25 minutes.
Like 5 minutes of that phone.
It cannot be that expensive for 5 minutes, you know.
Exactly.
But like you said, the kind of work that goes into it and the attention to detail and ensuring that everything is in place, it's a lot. We are a two people operation company. So everything is on the two of us to deliver.
But also I think that goes to the people who want to get into the production companies or to open up a production house. You have to know it's not just about recording and giving videos. It's about you giving the right quality, because that's, again, as you've said, that's how you maintain your clients. As much as it would be a little bit expensive, it's worth it because you're putting in the time, and as you've said, you're pouring out your heart. So it's something that you love doing. I'll repeat, kama haupendi hii story, you'd rather get something else to do, because it has so much into it. You have to put in your time, you have to put in your energy, but kama unaipenda, it's something that can make money. But now we go to the biggest question. What exactly do I need to put up a production house?
Start with what you have.
That's
the easiest thing I can say, is start with what you have. You want to film, you want to go into videography, pretty much everyone these days, or most people, have a smartphone.
Yeah.
Use your phone. If it's got a good camera, use it. That's what we started with. We started with our phones. We did our first ever review on a phone.
Yeah.
We didn't even have any, lavalier microphones or whatever. We just used what we had.
Yeah.
And that's how we started. The equipment came along the way. Technology these days is so advanced that you can, to have a music production studio, I mean, you can go to like so many studios and their main center of attention is a computer.
Yeah.
You've got the software, you've got the mixer on there, you've got everything on there, virtual instruments.
Yeah.
So I would say start with what you have. You don't need the latest and greatest equipment to get good quality. If you know what you're doing, just learn how to use what you have properly.
Okay.
And you can get the best out of it. Yeah.
I think for me also, coming from a background of radio, why it was a lot easier for us to set up is because we had the experience. So we had the experience tied to us, and we were able to know what the quality that we needed to put out there. We knew what equipment we needed. We had already been in the industry, so it was a lot easier for us than I think it would be for just a normal person who loves photography or videography. I think also it's learning. One big thing is to learn on the go. Watch reviews of how to shoot certain things, of the techniques when it comes to photography, when it comes to videography. I think also if you are employed and you want to start your own production house, a big thing that I think you need to do is ensure that you have capital to do so. So don't just dive straight into it. Start from where you are, yes, but also have a backup plan to ensure that as you progress, like what we've done, is you have stepping stones that you're not going to fall flat. So you need those stepping stones to help you along the way. And like you say, if you're passionate about it, there's no way you're not going to make it work. You'll make it work. You will find a way to make it work.
But I also love what you say, that it's good if you start from a point of employment.
Yes.
Because you get to get the skills and you get to know what you're supposed to do even when you start your own company.
Absolutely.
Time is really running out, but I feel like we've got enough and enough. Not even more than we've got enough for what you need if you want to start your own production house. But I've also gotten that it's better if you get employed fast. People love being self-employed. It's a good thing, but it has both sides. So if you can get employed fast, get the skills, know what you're supposed to do, and know what exactly you want to do. See when you open a production house and now you want to do everything at the same time, itakuchanganya. So you need to know exactly what you want to do. Now, maybe in a minute, tell us the other side of the cradle of life.
The other side of the cradle of life. When we moved to Kenya, we moved here during the pandemic. So it was one of those things where we just literally decided we're going to Kenya. We have a son. He's now 4 years old. And I grew up here. This is home for me. Kenya is home. I wanted him to see what I saw growing up, to experience things as I experienced them. And so when we got here and we started working on the idea of the cradle of life, it was actually to show the true essence of Africa. I think the narrative out there on Africa is so negative. I think all they ever put in the news is these ones are fighting, machetes are on a pigana, there's issues in Congo, there's issues in Kenya. So it was never just about a production house. It was about showing the world what Africa really is, and what better way than to start at home. Kenya had to be that starting point. Between Kenya and Seychelles, we've had a lot of support from both Kenya, Seychelles and Uganda. So those three countries have really pushed us to try and help show the true essence of Africa. And that is what we stand for, is showing that we're not just that continent that you guys decided to say, the dark continent, as so many people put it. There's such a beautiful side to Africa, to its people, to its cultures, to the businesses that are flourishing and growing and making our economies what they are today. So that essentially was the heart of the cradle of life, the true essence of Africa.
And how we're trying to portray that is through some of our productions, like we've got one called Spotlight, where we get random individuals to tell their story. We ask them questions to tell their story, put it out there to show that there's so much more to the people than violence, than poverty, you know, that as well as reviews of different places. We're still putting things together, but this is how we are trying to do our part to portray to the world that Africa is such a beautiful place.
Yeah,
amazing.
And we're even working with a friend of ours who we worked with in radio. He's from Zimbabwe. His name is Wellington Manjengwa, and he's a motivational speaker. So we have a playlist on our YouTube channel that pushes motivation for the youth, for different people who may be able to relate to it, whether it's business, finance, personal, everything comes together on that. So it's, like we said, the true essence of Africa, just showing different things and trying to bring people together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us as well.
You are doing a great job.
Asante.
And
Thank you so much.
of course, now we have our viewers knowing that if you want to start a production house, it's not something extremely hard. It's something you can work through, and it's something that you can get money from as long as you are able to do what you're supposed to do. Thank you so much for tuning in, our viewers. God bless you. I know that you're going to be having an amazing week. We'll be having a repeat of the same on Friday at 7:30 in the PM. Make sure that you do not miss. If you've joined us late, come on, we missed some part. We've been live on Facebook, we've been live on YouTube, so you can get the link, you can share it to your friends, and also get to watch mahali you've not hujapata vizuri. So thank you so much. We're going to be meeting you next week on Monday, same time, on another amazing episode. This has been the Business Plus. My name is Rachel Kahugo. Bye.